Welcome to the MoxStars podcast. I am Menace, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Rampage.
So good. What's up? I'm not doing gang signs. I'm airbending.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. You can support the show by finding us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. You can also find us on all podcasting platforms, where you can leave us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool. Oh, brother, I have to go through and make myself look like I am in space because somebody sent me proof that they left a 5-star review. So, One moment. All right, I'm in space. Ooh.
Menace, your spacesuit.
I can't breathe. You can also support us on Patreon by joining the community as a Pepperhead. Become an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. Become an official Pepperhead. Support the show. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red, the official Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. And if you didn't know, we have a Discord server. We have the coolest Discord server full of the coolest people. So jump in. We're jamming games tonight. We're recording this show, and we're also jamming games on Wednesdays. We're starting this little league, or this little program. How would you? What would you call it? Is it a league?
It is a league, but it's really just a bunch of people brewing and hanging out, kind of showing off what they've put together.
Yeah, it's like basically the rule set that we have right now is that if you jump in this league, you just got to build a face commander. So one of the commanders that has ever adorned the face of a commander deck, a pre-constructed commander deck, that can be your commander. Make it as strong as you'd like. And for doing flavorful things, for winning games, for doing Pepperhead stuff, you get Pepper points, which you can redeem in-game or after the game for merch, for effects during the game, like draw a card, for a certain amount of Pepper points. So only at sorcery speed. Today, at the time, or at the day of this recording, the Secret Lair Countdown Kit, an encyclopedia of magic, went live on the Secret Lair homepage, and that was at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It must have been a record. Must have been a record time for selling out of something, because it was quite the hubbub. It was 26 cards, by the way. So it was one card for each letter of the alphabet. You had Alter the Brood, Brain Freeze, Crop Rotation, Demonic Consultation, Eerie Ultimatum, Field of the Dead, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Hymn to Turok, Isochron Scepter, Junji the Midnight Sky, Krark-Clan Ironworks, Llanowar Elves, Myrel, Shield of Argive, Narset's Reversal, Obnixilis the Fallen, Phyrexian Altar, Questing Beast, Retrofitter Foundry, Soul Ring, Temple of the False God, Urza Saga, Vesuva, Wasteland, Zancha, Yarak, Zozu.
That's all, folks.
And that's it.
Gotta catch them all.
That's what it felt like when I was like naming them. I was like, so this is 26 cards for $200. And to be honest, it's a lot. What would you rather have? Okay, so things that cost roughly $200.
100-card commander deck.
You could have that. A custom, like you can build it yourself.
3 custom commander decks.
You could have
100-card.
4 pre-constructed commander decks, all new stuff you could play with. Or
but wait, what if I get those pre-constructed commander decks and I can read the cards? What happens then?
Whoa.
I can't read any of these.
Yeah, I know you've got to step above the Secret Lair here. So it comes down to how much you want to scalp these. That's kind of what it feels like with every Secret Lair that comes out, is with every chase card and chase layer that they create. Like this one had Wasteland's like $10. A lot of these cards don't have a lot of value. Urza Saga obviously carries a lot of value. Soul Ring, crazy value on Soul Ring. Retrofitter Foundry is like $10. Phyrexian Altar is like $50. Myrel was like
KCI is still
20.
worth something, right?
Yeah, it's a few bucks, maybe more. Iceground Scepter is a common combo piece. So like there are a lot of playable cards. If you have been playing Magic for a long time and you've built, like you went out and you did the 32 deck challenge, all of these cards probably have a home. They probably have a home in your deck. So like you can get out there, you can, if you were lucky enough to get one, congratulations. Like, but I will say that it is when Secret Lair came out, it was really cool to see some unique and crazy artworks land on, Magic cards. It was new and it was fresh. I think we've lost the focus a little bit. Like what made Secret Lair special or desirable, because now it is solely a product that when they put something valuable in it is scalped. It's poached and scalped on the secondary market. And it's if you do like it, even if you do happen to enjoy the artwork, there's a good chance that because you weren't there in the first 30 minutes that you missed out on it. It's a product that is for whales in an economy that is not going to support that habit of spending for very long. Like, sorry to shed a little bit of light on it. Got the sun right behind me. Peeking out just from on the right side of my head. So yeah, it's one of those things that I would have. And here's the thing. I saw the value in this set, and here's how stupid I am. How stupid I would have been. I would have put it on my credit card if it was available. And then I'd be paying interest on it and paying even more over the course of time for what? Shiny cardboard? Like, I'm about to go to FedEx in the morning and print 2 commander decks for $15. That seems pretty great. Pretty great.
It's tough in a 26 card set to justify paying that. Like, I think some of these artworks are cool.
Mm-hmm.
Demonic Consultation I can't get over. I think Brain Freeze is cool. I love the style that the Altar of the Brood is in. But like past that, nothing fits, nothing matches, it being in Commander, I like, all my basic lands to be the same. I like some kind of flow or a homogeneous appearance of all my cards. And then just having this one oddball looking gray merchant in my deck doesn't speak to me. I think all of this art is gorgeous in its own way. The artists are super talented, but none of it flows. None of it works with existing stuff I have. And if I'm going to be spending $200, I might as well get something cool. I could get a signed version or, something serialized or whatever.
Right.
And I won't have to add 25 other cards to my bulk to do it.
For $200, you could get your plane ticket and pass to MagicCon Las Vegas in February or in May. Like, just for like perspective's sake, do you want to spend the money that you could have used to go to MagicCon on this, or go enjoy MagicCon with the MoxStars? Because we're going to be there no matter what.
You have your choices. This is for some people. It's just not for most people, I think.
Yeah, if you have expendable income and this is your hobby of choice, the thing you want to invest in, I think this is an incredibly cool drop that actually holds the value of what was printed. So yeah, this Phyrexian Altar is going to be, it's beautiful. I love it. It's absolutely my style for what I would want out of a Phyrexian Altar. This Myrel, someone once said mural, and I can't not think about that. If you are out there and you play the Shield of Argive, Myrel, or do you pronounce it Myrel or do you pronounce it mural? Let us know in the comments.
Please don't tell us mural.
Yeah, please don't tell us Mural. For whatever reason, it's like the pronunciation of certain things. Like we had this discussion in the Discord server this last week, right? Where it's Tayam.
Tayam. That's how I've been saying it for forever. I think the world says Tayam. They're wrong, but they're entitled. They can be wrong.
The only way I can hear that is if you're from like Texas.
Tayam.
That's Tayam. That's the only way I can hear that. So, like, Tayam. It's Tayam. Like, look at it. Sound it out. What's it say?
We should take a second to acknowledge Shake Weighty Isochron Scepter.
Yeah. Hey. Get it. All right. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see I'm clearly in space. You can see the Isochron Scepter Shake Weight artwork. It's pretty darn cool. And then, some of these other artworks I've been flipping through, but enough with Secret Lair. If you got one, congratulations. You did the thing. You got in line. Maybe you got in the pre-queue. I heard there was a pre-queue in this one. But we're going to move on to the more important topic, the more pressing issue. I wouldn't say maybe it's not an issue, but it's something that's coming down the pipe. It's on the horizon. We have Avatar: The Last Airbender. Weeks away from release? So
not far.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, and spoilers are abundant, and we haven't really talked about them too much. So Rampage and I went through and I picked 5. We agreed on 5. Okay, just want everyone to know that we agreed.
My bad.
On 5. Rampage selected 14. So
there's a lot of cards I wanted to talk about. Shouldn't we take a whole bunch of time talking about how good the Cabbage Merchant and the Badger Mole Cub and Sozin's Comment are?
Absolutely not.
That would be a good use of our time, right? To just talk about the things that are obviously good.
Yeah, so another stipulation when we agreed to this was that there are a few cards out there that are just generically very, very powerful. I think you once you read it, like the Cabbage Merchant. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you create a food token, and you can tap 2 food tokens to create or to add 1 mana of any color to your pool. That's insane. It's super good. It's going to be busted for a long time. And green, it's one way for you to keep up with other decks that are spell slinging. And things like the Badger Mole Cub, obviously pushed. Very obviously pushed. It's Kinnan, sort of, right? Kinnan, sort of, in mono green. That, it earthbends, turns one of your lands into a creature, and then, all of your creatures, if they do tap for an additional green. So things like Enduring Vitality get even better. Kinnan gets even better. Like, Kinnan produces 3 mana with that thing on the battlefield with it. So that's pretty rad. And then, Sozin's Comet is kind of like this really cool, crazy finisher, right? Like, it doesn't...
It's just more mana than you could possibly ever use in a turn. For 5 mana, creatures you control get Earthbending 5. And if you don't want to pay 5 mana to cast this spell that's already very good, you can foretell it and cast it for cheaper on a later turn.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Just an obviously fantastic card.
Yep. Yeah.
We don't have to explain why that's good. But what we do have to explain why that's good. Wan Shi Tong, the Librarian. Can you explain to me why this card is good? There's been quite a lot of talk about this card. And I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad. But I want to understand, and I think your opinion on this is that this is a strong card. Can we talk about why this is good? Why, in your opinion, this will see higher level power play?
Yeah, I just want you to take a look at something like Archivist of Ogma and look at it and consider it for play. I think that anyone who enjoyed or anyone who had high hopes for Archivist of Ogma likes this card, right? Or anyone who has seen success with Archivist looks at this card and goes, holy crap, it does the Archivist thing, but then more. So in this, I think this is a commander card. Also, I do believe it's going to reign. It's going to have a reign of terror in standard as well. Just coming in on the end step, sitting like blue-white control is going to have a day with this. So there's a mix of different audiences and different demographics that are going to want this. But it's just the thing that I saw immediately on it is it has that Archivist of Ogma text. But not only does it have the Archivist of Ogma text, it doesn't gain you life, but Wan Shitong continues to get larger every single time it happens. So how many cards have you played Archivist recently?
Yeah. I've recently been Archivist pilled, Ogma balls. Yeah, I think it's so good. It's great, but it's a white card. So like white is always looking for good cards, in my opinion. Whereas in blue, there's already a strong precedent for what a strong blue card is. And I don't think this fits it. So we can compare it to Archivist, I think, and show how they're comparable. And, I just said I love Archivist. This should also be good. But in blue, I'd rather be doing more, obviously, broken stuff than play Archivist.
Yeah, I think this also goes into any Tymna build that is used as playing blue. So like Thrasios Tymna or like Blue Farm with Tymna Crom, like this goes right in there because for 2 mana you can flash it in on the end step and they have a 1/1 flying vigilance. So that also nets you value in additional cards just for your opponent's existing. Like tutor creature onto the battlefield, vamp tutor. Sure, I'll draw a card before that resolves, or no, or after it resolves. But it's like you will get additional value for doing what is the most powerful thing in Magic, I think, or at least in Commander, which is finding the right card. Like yes, drawing cards is good. Like, don't get me wrong, I think drawing cards is the most powerful mechanic in all of Magic. But like tutoring is right behind there, right? And
I see your argument for like 1v1 play. I think you're right. I think this will be a horse in that environment. I think I'm just willing to accept, obviously everyone's saying it, so I'm assuming I'm wrong, but I'm eager to see what this does 6 months from now. Our list's still going to be on it.
Yeah, I think anybody who's on like Seedborn Muse is excited for this. Really, like, you develop enough value, you get going. It's also an infinite mana outlet. It draws your entire library. Like, that's all you got to do is look at how many cards you have left in your library and then do the math on X to figure out how many you need to draw so that you can play the Thassa's Oracle and win the game. So, yeah, the ceiling is... This is the ceiling. The ceiling is, at instant speed, you can cast it to draw your entire library.
Good.
Okay. Seems pretty good. And
yep.
Yeah. The floor is it's a 2 mana instant speed way to like 1, provide board presence, and then 2, draw cards off of incidental tutors, like even a Terramorphic Expanse,
Sure.
So, and then it becomes a beater.
Okay. Well, I'm eager to get into our top 5 because I have 14 to discuss. But before, one little side detour I want to take is on the clue token business. We're making clues in this set. Yeah,
I'm looking up Tireless Tracker right now because this was the way that we used to create clues. A Tireless Tracker is a 2 and a green human scout that says landfall whenever a land you control enters. You do this really cool thing. You investigate, right?
You what?
You create a clue token, otherwise known as investigating. You would investigate. Investigate's reminder text is create a clue token. It's an artifact with pay 2, sacrifice a token, draw a card. So now in Avatar: The Last Airbender, we're being presented cards that investigate, but they don't.
But not investigate.
Yes. Yep. So Yeah, go ahead. What's piquing your interest
It
here?
just seems odd. We put this keyword to it, and keyword probably isn't the correct technical term, but we put this keyword to it, investigate. Okay, we just learned that. Thanks, Karlov. We learned now that investigate means create a clue. I've put that into my memory. And then now in this set, we've forgotten about investigate because I don't know, a clue token is more thematic than investigating. I don't want to be in Aang Avatar land and then be thinking about Karlov, maybe. I'm unsure of what the reasoning behind it was, but we don't investigate in this set. We create a clue token, which is just odd to me.
Yeah. So, for example, there's this card called Sold Out. It's a common, and it's part of it's an iconic moment in the first season. But it's 3 and a black, instant, exile target creature. If it was dealt damage this turn, create a clue token. So yeah, they're trying to create flavor where investigating isn't like the core concept or even really a big part of Avatar. So yeah,
Okay, that's good. I question that same thing.
Yes.
We probably should have led this off with what is your experience with Avatar: The Last Airbender? Because mine is minimal. I've probably seen a few episodes, but I haven't. I thought maybe clues were some part of this, some later season I missed where they're spies or investigating, they're detectives.
I mean, there are
But
certain
apparently not.
there are certain instances where I think that like Prince Zuko is investigating or he's following clues. Like
Okay.
he's following clues because he's tracking the Avatar, and he always seems to be on his tail all the time. So that's one thing, right? Like if a trail of clues would lead you, to your ultimate goal. But like for instance, there's another common. It's called Callous Inspector. For 1 black mana, you get a 1/1 menace that says when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to you. Create a clue token. I think this is like the death of investigate. I hate to say it. Like investigate includes its reminder text includes create a clue token. Where now this is just plainly saying it. It's not investigating, but we might in the future get another keyword that says create a clue token, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature, and that's called detectiving.
Koobly-Doo. Yep.
Yeah. So
I guess the other world is this is Avatar. It's got a big following. That following might not be exclusively Magic players who are playing in Karlov. So if I'm new to the game because of Avatar, I come in and I see Investigate, I have to ask what the hell is this thing on top of earthbending, on top of waterbending. Like I got to remember all these things anyway. I don't want to have to remember what Investigate means.
it could just be that they didn't put enough card draw in the set for constructed because this is going or for limited. So this is definitely a limited designed set. Unlike Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Fallout both felt really horrible when you're drafting them because they weren't designed for limited play. But this one has been in the works for a long time. It is designed for limited play, and it could just be one of those things where like we need more card draw in these colors, and creating a clue token, it fits thematically, but investigating doesn't. So that's maybe where we're at. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into our top 5 or 14 because we don't even need to get into the fact that some of these cards have the exhaust mechanic on them.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, whatever. They created some new keywords like earthbend, and then they were like, yeah, just everything: food, treasure, clue, exhaust, all of it. So yeah, let's jump right in. We're doing the MoxStars X Dr. Pepper X Avatar: The Last Airbender top 10 cards for the set. So, reminder, these are not the generically good cards. We sort of covered those. These are cards that we personally believe have unique axes. Is it axis? Axis? Axolotl.
Yep.
Axolotl that they can pivot on and make for unique and creative strategies. So let's kick it off. Rampage, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, I would love to. And I'm going to go worst to best, so you have to watch the whole episode. I want to start talking about Momo's Heist. Not only is he a cool, crafty little fella, he has a card now in Magic the Gathering that I'm super interested in. It says for 2 and a red, for a sorcery, you can gain control of target artifact, untap it, it gains haste. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice it. So not only do I enjoy theft effects, if my opponent has something of value, I want to steal that. I want to use it for myself and then destroy it. This is red destroying artifacts, which is what red does. But I see something like this and I'm like, oh, kills a One Ring. I think that's pretty cool. So this is my number 5 because I am praying for the day I slam this in a deck, my opponent casts a One Ring, and I got this little flying squirrel, lemur, big-eared bat in my hand, ready to take it.
We didn't even talk about that, did we? The hybrid animals.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, we talk about it right now. Everything in this set is a hybrid animal.
Yeah.
And I, again, don't know anything about Avatar. So, I guess my question is, there's a cat gator in this set. It's a catfish and an alligator together, and it's called a cat gator.
Oh, yeah.
In Avatar Land World, is there also a catfish and alligators? Otherwise, how did they come up with that name?
You got me on that one. No, in Avatar, it's every animal. It's like every animal is half of something, half of the other thing. So I guess that is a very good question because it makes you wonder how do you know it's a half this, half that?
How'd they get those names? Yeah, it should just be one thing. That is that thing, not 2 things.
That's a very fair argument. All right. So I'm actually going to talk about the one animal that is not a half and half animal in the entire, out of all of Avatar. This is the one animal that's not half and half. All right. And it comes from the Earth King. This is 3 and a green for a legendary human noble ally. This is a 2/2 that says when the Earth King enters, create a 4/4 green bear creature token. I thought it was legendary, but his name's Bosco, right? And it's actually weird in the show that when they meet the Earth King and like, oh yeah, this is the king's pet bear, Bosco, and they're like, bear? What? Not like a badger bear? No, not
right.
like a
shark bear,
platypus bear? No. And like, no, just a bear. And they're like, oh? So they see it for the first time and they're like, how strange. Yeah. So whenever one or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attack, search your library for up to that many basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. This is good.
Chef's kiss. What a card.
This is really good. Now it's not the craziest card out there in the world, but it does feed itself in a way, right? So when Bosco gains the ability to attack, you get to search your library for a basic land. It's an attack trigger, which is super great. The other thing is that there's the Teamer Battle Crier that is a 4/3 that reduces the cost of all spells you cast equal to the number of creatures of power 4 or greater that you control. So you could play the Battle Crier for 3 mana, and then this reduces the Earth King down to 3 mana, and then you get another 4/4, and then everything's cost is reduced by 2. And then the Battle Crier attacks, and you get an attack trigger where you get to go get another basic land. So not only are you reducing the cost of everything that you're playing, but you actually ramp as well. So it creates this larger and larger gap of resources, reduction and ramp, where now you get to it's just an overwhelming advantage. So that's why I really like the Earth King. I see a lot of potential in that effect, where a lot of people want to kill Bosco because he's a 4/4, and then they'll leave the Earth King behind because it's like, yeah, he's not the threat right now. But no, in a deck completely focused around 4/4 or 4 power, this is going to be really good. Like, I think you can effectively outpace your opponents while keeping the pressure on with something like this. Because the more lands you pull out of your library too, the better the odds are that your draws are more meaningful, that you're going to get those creatures that help trigger this ability more, so you can pull more lands out, develop more advantage, and still have more meaningful draws. Pick up less lands, flat out less.
The flavor text on that bad boy says Bosco seems to like him, and you know what? I think I do too. I think it's a hella card. Okay. Moving on to me, my number 4 is Avatar's Wrath. For 2 and white, I choose up to 1 target creature, then Earthbend all other creatures. So it's a board wipe, kind of.
Airbender.
Airbend. What did I say? Earthbend. Yes, they're airbended. So they're exiled. You can cast them for 2 rather than pay their mana cost. But it has this fun text, which I think is like the worst part of board wipes. Is you board wipe and then you pass the turn, your opponents get the chance to rebuild first. This says until your next turn, your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. So all of that value is gone. They can't cast it again until their next turn. So they have to rebuild their board from their hand. Chances are they're even going to let their commander get airbent. And it can sit up there so they can cast it for 2 on a later turn rather than put it in the command zone. So you get to rebuild first. If you have 2 mana, you can even get some of your own stuff back. And why I like that, I've always talked about having a disdain for board wipes because it makes the game go long. This is almost one-sided. For 2 mana, you can bring your own stuff back, and they can't for another turn. So when you're on your next turn, you've already established some board presence. They still don't have creatures.
Yeah, that's crazy. I must have overlooked that. The second line, until your next turn, your opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. Historically, an incredibly powerful effect. There's so many graveyard effects, flashback, harmonize now, and other types of effects that people bank on when they're put into like a corner, or when they're backed into a corner. This is like, I'm not going to say that it is cEDH viable, but if I imagine you're playing mono white Elish Norn, the double ETB one,
yep.
Mother Machines, then this is very good, right?
Sure.
You push it all back, and if they had ETB effects, they're not going to get them. You save your mommy, and then you can still cast things. It's only your opponents that can't cast things from anywhere other than their hand. You can still put the things that were airbended back onto the battlefield, get your ETB effects, gain your overwhelming advantage, and your opponents have to take a turn off. Notably, pretty much every win condition that happens from out of nowhere comes from casting spells from either exile or the graveyard. So I think this is a good hose for those, but it's very, very niche, and sorcery being the biggest limitation.
Yeah, you talked about, the food chain wins or the underworld breach wins. This does stop that and slow it down. That's often why you don't see board wipes in higher power, because you're unlocking some sort of stacks piece and now the next player is going to win. But if they don't have that avenue, they're still shut off for a different reason now. That card's excellent. It gives your other opponents more time to deploy that stacks piece again before your opponent can pop off.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is a great card. I am fully on board. All right. My next one, it's a series of them, but let me just choose one. I think I'm going for the Firebender.
Okay.
This new cycle of cards, they're the Bender Ascensions, right? So we've seen Ascensions in the past in Magic the Gathering's history that revolve around quest counters, and these are no different. Firebender Ascension is 1 in a red that says when this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. It also has a really cool scene from the 3rd season of Avatar where Aang and Zuko are firebending with the original dragons, or like with the dragons who invented firebending. And then whenever a creature you control attacking causes a triggered ability of that creature to trigger, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 4 or more quest counters on it, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. I think this is awesome. This works with Mobilize. It works with Firebending. It works with multitude of other things that have ever existed that attack, draw a card, discard a card.
Yeah.
You know?
How many red cards let you attack? And if you meet this condition, you get an extra combat or something.
Yeah, like Inti does this. Yeah, exactly right. So the big thing that I see with this is that we already play, well, no, I mean, it is a very niche strategy, but the reason I chose Firebender Ascension over something like Waterbender Ascension or Airbender Ascension is because there is a commander out there, Ishin of the Two Heavens, right? That has this ability, just that's stable to it. And it's an entire deck built around. But now imagine if you had this level of redundancy to it. This is crazy. Like, I think this is like one of those things you could, you know, if your commander has any sort of like attack triggers, and if it's in red, has an attack trigger, like, for example, for this, it would be like any of the overlords, right? Imagine having this with any of the overlords that are like when they attack of the Hauntwoods, create 2 lands instead of just 1. For the Boiler Bilges or whatever, it's deal 8 damage to 4 damage to 2 targets instead of just 1. So I think it has a really high ceiling for how low to the floor it is. 1 in a red, very, very, very low floor, low investment, and it creates a body that has Firebending 1. So,
and if you're already set up and you grab this later, like it's a whenever, so it's a triggered ability. So each one of your attacking creatures can trigger this, and some of them might resolve just the once and get the quest counter on it. By the time that 5th or 6th creature has this triggered ability resolved, the turn it came out, it's going to get double that trigger. You can stack those however you want to get all of the good stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what your deck's built around. This is crazy. Yeah, it has basis for the late game. Now, Airbender Ascension is a Conjurer's Closet that allows you, which has way, way easier of an access point, like, because the Airbender Ascension is whenever a creature enters under your control, like, you get a quest counter, and then at the beginning of your end step, you get to flicker a creature and then return to the battlefield under your control. So there definitely is some potential here too. I think this one will probably see more play, honestly, than the Firebender one, but I do think the ceiling for the Firebender one is really high. Okay,
that is phenomenal. That card is phenomenal. I cannot wait to see how that gets broken in half. I think there's a lot of good red cards. I'm going to stay in the red card theme here for number 3 with Avatar Roku Firebender. For 6 mana, you get a 6/6 human avatar. Whenever a player, that's any player, attacks, add 6 red mana. Until end of combat, you don't lose this mana as step's end. So your opponents attacking, because they're going to want to, give you 6 mana. And that there is flexible. You can use it with what's on the card. You know, you say, hey, if you attack this person, you know, I'll give your commander +3/+0, Mr. Voltron strategy. But if it's not, and, you know, if this card's in your deck, you have some way of abusing it, you get to use that yourself. Whether you're cracking the clues you didn't investigate for, or doing your own Staff of Domination stuff. Your commander has a activated ability you want to put mana into. Whatever you need free mana for, you are giving your opponents the ability to let you do that. It can be political, or you can just deal damage with it. If you have instant speed stuff that you want to do, throw it out there during each opponent's combat. That is great as well.
Yeah, I think to kind of dial in on that last point, there's another really generic good card that we didn't want to really put on the list, but it's Firebender Student or whatever it is. It's called, but it's one in a red for a 1/1 prowess that has Firebending X, where X is its power. Busted. Really, really good stuff. So Avatar Roku does something that I love it. I whenever someone attacks, like you get to do it. This is very similar to, it reminds me a lot of like Duelist Heritage, where
Sure.
yeah, when it's like they attacked, they're not even attacking you, but you can spend this mana that they generated for you to make their creatures larger, to like to deal in like, oh, you're not going to block that creature, hey, 3 damage, and just make it 6. Like, I don't have anything to do with the mana right now. I think it's like, this is crazy. I wish it had ward.
Sure.
I wish it had some level of protection, because I feel like it's just going to die so quick.
6 butt is big, but there are plenty of kill spells. You are correct.
Yeah, you don't get
6 mana. What you just described, the like 3/0 to some target creature that's not coming at you. That's the floor.
Yeah,
like that's excellent, but that's the bottom. That's the worst this card will do. The best it can do is 18 mana a turn cycle for Mischief. Hold on, my math is bad. 24, because you can trigger it yourself.
Yes.
24 mana per turn cycle for Mischief.
I wonder if this is like an instant auto-include into something like Alexios, where like you have to pass the commander and you have to attack.
So fun.
Yeah, does Alexios have an ability attached to it?
It can't be sacrificed.
No, doesn't have an activated ability. That would be gross. Yeah, I really like the card. I think it's very fitting, especially for the Avatar, like Avatar Roku in his like at this stage of his life. It's very fitting. It's a very powerful effect. So, all right. Mine also red. You are right, dude. You're absolutely correct when you said that there's a lot of really powerful red cards in this set, because I'm going for Faded Firepower. I love this moment in the show. This is when Iroh, after coming forward as basically the leader of the White Lotus, is like, and Sozin's Comet is in the sky, and he just starts breathing, and like this incredible, he's harnesses the fire of the comet. It's really cool. You got to watch it, dude. It's crazy cool. But X red for Faded Firepower. It's an enchantment with flash. So this is also another reason why I think that it's worth playing, especially if you're playing Avatar Roku, man, because this makes it 3x right off the bat, just by someone attacking. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus an amount of damage equal to the number of fire counters on this enchantment instead. So where things like Torbrand have always said, like add 2, or there's some other effects that are like that much +1, or even double. This can do way more than double. The ceiling is really, really high. The firebending contributes to it too, because it does have flash, where you can swing in with that, like the prodigy, or this firebending prodigy, this thing that has prowess, and it's like, oh yeah, I hit it with a 1 mana +3/+0, and then I swung with it, and then I got 6 mana in my pool, and then it went in unblocked. So before damage, I flashed the Faded Firepower in, and then they took an additional 3 damage or whatever. Like, it is so disgusting, because it just establishes, this takes mono red burn in standard to another level, where the firebending prodigy is going to be the basis for it. But this is a huge top end for a strategy that normally runs out of gas. This makes it so that you don't run out of gas anymore. So I think it's really good. And on top of that, it's just a really good commander card. Like you can do so much, like just amplifying damage, like O'Hare Ashenil, the red from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the red.
This is that card on an enchantment.
Yeah, but then it's like that much more. So if a source you control will deal damage, Ashenil replaces that damage with its power, and then you get to add however many counters are on top of it to this with this. So it can actually be one of those beneficiaries to O'Hare Ashenil as long as you stack it appropriately. So really exciting, really powerful enchantment.
What is the little Rakdos guy that whenever you sack something, you deal a damage to any target?
Oh, Mayhem Devil. Jeez.
This can go crazy with Mayhem Devil.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
All right, next one.
Okay, I'm hopping off of red cards, and I'm talking about something near and dear to my heart, which is food tokens. Now, I know we said we weren't going to talk about the cabbage merchant because obviously that's good. But what I do want to talk about is the unlucky cabbage merchant. For 2 mana, you get a 2/2 human citizen that says when it enters, make a food token. We kind of knew that was coming. Whenever you sack a food, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. You can search if you search your library this way, put this card on the bottom, then shuffle. Yeah. So 2 things about that. 1, you put it on the bottom and then shuffle.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Sorry, what?
It's got to get put into the deck somehow. Yeah. Because then I think if that's the case, you would have to put the land onto the battlefield, shuffle, and then put that into the library and then shuffle, or put that onto the bottom and then it's on the bottom forever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That I'm not worried about so much. But I have a deck that cares about this very much. And maybe this is in my top 5 for very bad reasons. But I have instances where I'm sacking a whole bunch of foods all at once. Mm-hmm. And each of those food sacks will trigger this. And I will get all of those basic lands. I won't have to do the shuffling thing a whole bunch. But if I can sack 10 foods at once, or you can keep sacking foods on the stack with this ability on the stack, it'll trigger. And while it's out there, before this ability resolves, it'll see every single one of those. So as long as you have a way to eat artifacts or activate the abilities of foods because they're cheaper or something, you can just keep sacking all of those foods, all of them on the stack, and get 23 basic lands, and then let this get shuffled back in.
Yeah, this is crazy.
That's what I want to abuse. I don't think it's the best card in the world. I just think it's really cool that you get to do that. And I'm going to try to abuse the heck out of it as much as I can.
Yeah, no, that's the ceiling on it is really, really high, especially in a deck like Igra, Eater of All, like from Blueburrow. You know, it's like, hey, just every basic land, you can have it. Just go ahead and
put it out there.
Yep. So that's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that. Like until you started talking about it, I was like, oh, wait. Because two of the cards I'm going to talk about today are actually basic land focused. And we already talked about one with the Earth King, but you know, you're going to just building the anticipation because I am not talking about that one next. My next card you have to, here's the thing with this one, in order to find it, you actually have to go look at some of the leaks on Reddit because somebody saw that they had, one of their LGS had avatar packs up on the shelf like 2 days ago, right? And they took a picture of it and they were like, and then they asked the storekeeper if they could buy them. And they're like, yeah, they're on the shelf. Of course you can buy them. And so they bought them and took pictures of a bunch of the cards. And in this is this card, Sandbender Scavengers. It's a white and a black for a human rogue 1/1 that says whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. When this creature dies, you may exile it. When you do, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to this creature's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Mobilize. Hello. Voice of Victory. Hello. Like, this gets crazy pretty quick in standard and constructed, but in commanders, when you can really like take this effect and really magnify it. I like that it's not legendary. I think that's, I mean, if it was legendary, it'd be awesome, right? Just to keep throwing it back to the command zone, exiling it to reanimate whatever you want. But for 2 mana, it's such a low barrier of entry. I thought that this would be even a good Taeyam card. It's not as good as Shredder Super Mutant, but this is one of those, it is a very similar effect where it's just like whenever you sacrifice another permanent, which you're doing all the time in Taeyam, you get a counter. And then when this creature dies, you get to reanimate something. So it has upside, even though it's once because you have to exile it. But I do think that in standard, in constructed, this is going to be a house with things like mobilize. And then in commander, even if you do decide to play it, you do get probably the biggest creature in the graveyard back. So it accrues value. It's a really great value engine.
Yep. Yeah, and notably, it's sacrifice another permanent. So that's treasures, that's fetch lands. It doesn't have to be creatures you control.
Map tokens, whatever.
Yep. Foods. I hear there's foods in this set that might be good with this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Reanimate on a body. You got a 20/20 at some point. They're gonna have to kill it eventually, right?
They're gonna do their best.
Okay. Looking at my last card, my number 1, it got spoiled really early on. It's a common, and it's near and dear to my heart. I think it's so cool because I think of all of the ways that this can get abused. It is the Bender's Water Skin. It's a 3 mana artifact. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. So it is our generic monolith 3 mana rock. Everyone says is not good enough to see play, except this has a line of text that reads, untap this artifact during each other player's untap step. I love that. I think I love it for the same reason I love Avatar Roku, but this is much more flexible. It can go in any color deck. And when I want to be playing on my opponent's turn, when I want a blue mana held up for my Swan Song, this is an artifact I can rely on. It can, in theory, pay for itself in its first turn cycle on the table, which I think is exciting. But just having that value, having that threat up all of the time, I think will make an impact. I think it is extremely playable, even in your higher power games. I'm excited to see what this card does.
Yeah, it seems like it could be really good in like Ashling from Modern Horizons 3, where red mana doesn't become or doesn't empty from your pool. Omnath,
sure.
The green Omnath goes crazy. It loves this because it's just like, yeah, okay, put another one in the bank. Crewfix loves this. Another one in the bank. Right? And even the new Firelord Ozai or the Phoenix King or whatever loves that because he turns any of the unspent mana into red mana. So, yeah, this is really, really good. It's the first 3 mana artifact that like taps for 1 of any color. Like Relic of Legends is different. Like I would say, like that.
Yeah, I put this on a similar level of Relic of Legend. Like it's something exciting. It's something I want to see.
Yes.
What decks I can put this into and see what we can do with it.
Yeah.
Just because it's so flexible.
Yeah, there's a ton of like, even I would say like Kenrith in cEDH would want this with like a training grounds out on the battlefield or something like that. Sure. It's like, great, every turn there's a +1/+1 counter, or every turn I gain 5 life, or every turn whatever, it's like, and it makes it that much easier to reanimate on other players' turns as it untaps. So
and don't even get me started on Kinnan. What I think Kinnan wants to do with this.
Spin the wheel on other people's turns.
Yeah, it's just like an extra 2 mana every player's turn. I think that's good. I think people want that.
I agree. I think this is probably the best or one of the best commons that I think I've ever seen. Like, for its versatility, for what it does at the highest level of power. Like, I don't think you really feel bad for investing 3 mana in this and passing the turn. Like, invest 3 mana in this, tap it, cast the Deathrite, and then pass the turn. It untaps, and then you have your Swan Song held up, or like you have your crop rotation held up, or whatever you need. Your 1 mana thing. Like, once you move into bracket 5. All of your instants, most of them anyway, are 1 mana. Flusterstorm, like, great.
Should be.
Yeah. So you need the most efficient removal you can get, and this definitely does that.
So I had 14 cards in my list. Some of them were mythics, some of them we won't get to talk about, and that's perfectly okay. This was the only common, and I think that's another reason I'm so excited about this card.
Yeah. What's the 1 and 2 Phyrexian black removal? Dismember. This makes a Dismember live. Like, it's really good. It's really, really good. Now, my number 1 is from the same list of spoilers, because no one has seen this yet. Ooh, it's not even on Mythic Spoiler. No one's seen it. My number 1 is Kyoshi Island Plaza. So this is 3 and a green for a legendary enchantment. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Menace would put an enchantment as his number 1? But it is a shrine. And it says, when Kyoshi Island Plaza enters, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of shrines you control. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So just a quick search while I'm talking. So this is 4 mana, right? In a shrine deck that, it magnifies the more shrines you have out onto the battlefield. So I'm just going to look up and see how many shrines are, less than 4 mana. How many shrines can you accrue onto the battlefield before hitting this at your perfect curve? And there's Sanctum of Stonefangs at 2 mana. You have Honden of Infinite Rage at 3 mana. You have Sanctum of Tranquil Light at 1 mana. You have Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest at 3 mana. You have, let's see, as we go down, Goshentai of Lost Wisdom at 2 mana. So I think that this brings and breathes new life into shrine decks, and it also makes it so that I think this is the card that kind of pushes it over, where if you're in 3 colors, you can now justifiably run an enchantment package just based entirely off of shrines. So if you're playing Sultai, if you're playing, even if you're playing Bant Enchantress, right? You get a incredible series of shrine abilities. Like the Southern Air Temple is crazy because it puts +1/+1 counters on each creature you control for each enchantment, or for each shrine you control. Goshentai of Boundless Vigor, 1 and a green. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on target shrine for each shrine you control. The accrual of shrines is now reaching critical. It's to the point where now when you and that's not the end of the effect, which is kind of why I wanted to put it out in the spotlight here. So yeah, you have the ceiling in late games to search your library for 4 or 5 shrines. If you're playing Goshentai and you're creating the little shrine tokens, it's like, well, now it's every basic land in the library. But and then it says, whenever another shrine you control enters, search your library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tapped. So not only does it sees itself when it enters, right? So you get to search for at least 1. The going rate for 4 mana to search your library for basic lands is 4 mana for 2. You get 2 of them, right? Now you have something that sits on the battlefield, and if you're already in the strategy, it's just bam, 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 bam. And now you're just getting turns ahead of your opponents by just playing the strategy that your deck is built around. So I think I've been waiting for a long time for, I really wanted lander tokens to be good, because I've been waiting for a long time for basic lands to be good. I think there's a certain point when you hit the highest levels of competition, and everyone is a back to basics would end most people, right? I would love a strategy that's impervious to that, so I could run back to basics. So honestly, so I could do it to them. And I think Kyoshi Island Plaza is one of those cards where like this makes your what's that thing from Wilds of Eldraine? Not Wilds, yeah, or whatever Eldraine, the enchantment that triples the number of mana your basic lands can produce. The thing of endurance, or I can't remember.
It's not Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Not Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Not that one.
It has an adventure attached to it, but it's 7 mana and it triples the basic land mana. So
Gotcha.
I think that this makes it even easier to get to that, and then you can blow up. In standard, there's things like Doppelgang, which is still legal and fun to play, but this lets you make stupid big explosive plays. And then not only that, like it generates like what I was saying before about like Bosco or like in the Earth King, making your draws more meaningful. This pulls so many basic lands out of the library that it just makes it so, yeah, all of your draws are likely non-lands, which is great.
Looking at,
what do you want to see?
Looking at, you mentioned like a Bant deck. Looking at some of the other cards in this set, the ones that airbend, there's only one that's creature specific. Everything else says non-land permanent. So if you airbend this for 2 mana, you can get that another land. Now you're talking about this thing paying for itself. And like you said, if you're running that little shrine package, you're getting more than just that one land. And turns your Sanctum Weaver on, which is the most important piece of this puzzle.
Yes. So that's really what I'm getting at, is that Sanctum Weaver gets even better with Kyoshi Island Plaza. So generate insane amounts of mana, and you too can win games with Sanctum Weaver. Yeah, I hope that maybe I'm just no, I'm not even gonna say that's the truth. That's the truth. Kyoshi Island Plaza is probably the single greatest shrine that we have, single color shrine we have. I can't put any slander.
I'm excited.
I can't put any slander on Sanctum of All.
I'm excited to see what it does, for sure.
Yeah, like the Spirit Oasis.
I like today that we talked about like little niche cards with application. My little unlucky Cabbage Merchant and your Kyoshi. I want to see those kind of evolve and grow into strategies that are fun and powerful. Yeah,
me too. I do. All right. If you are out there and you're looking at Avatar: The Last Airbender spoilers and seeing things that you know that you can fit into your strategies, or you see lines that we have not talked about yet today, be sure to jump down in the comments on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever. Join the Discord server. Bring them up. Drop a deck list in there and let us know what you're thinking, what you're seeing with Avatar: Last Airbender. And if you could be so kind as to sound off in the comments below to encourage Rampage to watch Avatar: Last Airbender, that would be excellent as well. He needs to witness and experience the masterpiece. But
I got a few weeks before this set comes out. I can do some studying.
Yeah, you got some time. All right. Anything we missed, Rampage? We good?
No, we talked about all of my favorite things. I think this set is shaping up to be super cool. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun to throw these cards, the ones we talked about today, into decks, as well as play in a limited environment. I think these cards will synergize uniquely with each other. I want to see how all these cards have these 6 mana activated abilities and what I can firebend into, or what has the best ETB I can abuse with airbending. I'm excited for this set. I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, it looks to be a good one, and with such a dedicated fan base, I have no problem seeing this rival even Final Fantasy. So I doubt it'll outsell Final Fantasy, because I will say, this is the one thing holding it back from competing with Final Fantasy for being the best selling set of all time. It's those stupid it's the stupid screenshot cards. Like, they won't.
Yeah, that ugly Blast Act is scaring people away.
It's like, and it doesn't even fit. Like, that's the thing, is that like the moment from the show, like it doesn't even fit the action like of the card itself. Like there's some of them that don't, like honestly, the Fire Lord Ozai face, where it's like right here in your face. What? I just don't get it. I don't get how they could have been so lazy. Like, you ever watch CSI Miami?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, what's that in that picture? Enhance. God, Horatio would be disappointed in these guys right now. He'd be taking off his sunglasses. Yeah, what?
I will be excited if I do watch the show to reenact that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's like, hey. He recognizes.
Yes.
That'll be me. Like, oh, that's Dockside Extortionist. Yep, I know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, Dockside reprint incoming. All right.
I thought it was fake. It's not fake.
No. All right, let's get out of here. This has been the MoxStars podcast, the #1 podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Clearly. Obviously. If you'd like to support the show, you can find us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. We're getting real close to that 600 mark, 596 subscribers at the moment. And you know what it is. Once we hit 600, pretty much the algorithm makes you jump to 700, right? And then once you hit 700, you're basically at 1,000, because then they just automatically upgrade you to 1,000. And then all of a sudden the show snowball, and then you're at 10,000, then you're at MagicCon, and you're being like hailed and revered for all of your hard work and efforts and podcasting. You know how it is. So yeah, 4 more people and that will all come true. That being said, you can also find us on all podcasting platforms. You can also find us on all podcasting platforms, so you can leave us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool and make me appear in space. You can also find us on Patreon by becoming an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. Become an official Pepperhead, have your name turned Dr. Pepperhead on the Discord server, like Gabe, McCoy, and definitely Jeremy, Mono Greg, Reven Lift, UWP Quirt, Will Rule, Poolboy Barry, maybe Anthony, and Ryan G. Thank you all for your support. You can also jump on the Discord server, jump into our new league, Face Commander League. It's not that, it's called Wednesday Webcam Wizardry. But check it out. We have a channel built there. Submit your deck list if you wanted to participate. You can jump in and out as you see fit, but we're hosting it on Wednesday nights. So get yourself some Pepper points. Redeem them for merch, tokens. We have new tokens on the horizon. And yeah, can caps or in-game actions. So yeah, this has been the MoxStars podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far in the show, you're doing the best thing you possibly can for the show. I don't know why, but that's what all the people say. Watch to the end. All right, peace. We're out.